Lesson 2 Day 2. Humility. Christ of love and teacher of humility, I come to you to ask you that from your kingdom, open my spiritual eyes, begging you that from your head, your hands, and your feet, send me rays of light and wisdom, to always be close to your truth. May you be the trunk and root that always sustains me, when I feel myself falling off the beaten path. Put your hands on your head, then open your arms facing upwards. No one who has ever existed has been more humble than the Christ. Someone's true humility is when they have power and do not use it. It is not very plausible to have nothing and be humble because in a way, lack and the struggle for survival make us humble. The Christ, being the Son of God, and having all the power in the world, would not make use of his power. What else proves this one? Love is humility. We are nothing when we show arrogance, because being imperfect beings and so too human we do not have to pretend anything. Christ, being all a king and having all the power in the world, never used it without his Father's permission, because he as a man could not preach humility and show pride and arrogance, because his acts would not be consistent with what he was preaching. Humility was the greatest quality of the Christ, the one that most distinguished him throughout his life of preaching. If he, being the Son of a God, was humble, is more reason for us being human to have humility. It would be shameful for the king to be humble and for those of us who are led by to be proud. Humility is love. The humble being has understood life, has understood death, has realized that at the end of the road material things are not important, because when we die we take nothing with ourselves, not even our own body. The Christ did not even want to be called the King of the Jews. His message was for everyone, for the Pharisees, the apostles, for anyone who wanted to hear him, for the prostitutes, for the beings possessed by demonic forces. His message was universal, for everyone, because everyone was a child of one God, no matter what their condition. When we are arrogant, we are in a way denying our imperfection and our human condition. Humility is love, and only in humility and love is wisdom found, because if we think we know everything, we are naive and fail to see the path that leads us to the truth. When Christ performed miracles, he said to the people, "Go away and don't tell what you saw." On many occasions the Christ gave proof of his humility, because if he came into the world as a human it would make no sense for him to make use of his divine powers. The greatest proof of his infinite humility was given to him when he was attacked. He never defended himself, he never showed arrogance, he only said to those who attacked him, "You said so." If you want to practice humility with others, you have many opportunities to do so when you are attacked, when you are humiliated or hurt. When this happens to you, close your eyes. Do not defend yourself or show arrogance. Do not try to defend yourself or show that your arguments are true. Simply close your eyes and say nothing, and in those moments you are imitating the Christ. The humble person is more admired than the arrogant person, because by being humble the person is showing that is a human being full of flaws and imperfections and is accepting the divine will. By being humble you are acknowledging that you do not know everything, that there is much to learn, and you are exalting the Socratic phrase to the fullest. I just know that I do not know anything. The Son of God decided to be born in poverty, in a small and poor fishing village, to set an example of humility. He fed on bread, fish, and wine, and could have had the best delicacies and the largest mansion anyone could ever imagine. His job was to help his father as a carpenter, and he could have been a great emperor, and that did not mean that he would cease to be the Son of God. The most beautiful example of the humility of Christ is that, being a powerful king, he dies with his head bowed on a cross. What more proof of humility can this Christ show? If this is not humility, tell me, what is? Not only does Christ die with his head bowed, but on his cross he opens his arms full of love to a selfish and arrogant humanity that did not understand his tremendous pain and message of love for human beings. Exercise. If you want to practice humility, visualize someone who has hurt, insulted, offended, or hurt you, and send them blessings and say something that praises them, and smile. If you can do this realistically, it would be much better. Find the person who has humiliated you and give them some praise. In this way you will practice humility and you will learn to have a meek and humble heart like the Christ, and in those moments you are imitating him and glorifying his name. Supplicate the Master. Wise teacher, Christ of love, teach me to be humble of heart. Every time I show some arrogance in myself, remind me that I am an imperfect and human being. Teach me to forgive when I am offended and do not allow it to affect me when I am insulted or humiliated. May everything that comes to my ears, when they offend me, be like rocks that fall from the mountain into the sea without being touched or smeared by the mud and the fall. Adored Christ, allow me to be your instrument. You will be the song, I will be the guitar that plays. Open your hands, touch my head, extend your arms and touch my heart, slide your legs and touch the soles of my feet, caress with your fingers every part of my body and human imperfection, filling me with love and rays of wisdom that come from your being. Amen.